I thought you were going to say, is there a character you want to go back and
redo?
Completely.
Rewrite it, the whole thing.
I always went with the jerk. Why? Because of Raphael.
Because of Raphael.
Yes, it messed me up, you guys. Did I go for Leonardo? No. Should I have gone for Donatello? 100%.
Yeah.
Chris has the power. If he wanted it to happen, it can happen.
Are you going to make a call? Dear Mr. Feige.
Dear Kevin Feige.
And then someone called me Kegel the Beagle. And I'm like, we gotta nix
this
that.
is getting
We gotta
too-
step that. Yeah, now we're,
No.
I don't know, yeah.
Switch schools.
No, that's bad.
Switch schools, yes.
Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
movie. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I'd love you to cast your minds back. Was there an animated character or a figurine that you had growing up that you were like obsessed with?
The Lone Ranger.
Were you born in 1940? Why did you have a Lone Ranger?
I don't know. I did. And I've told the story of having Optimus Prime. My dog used to eat all the toys I had, and it got destroyed by my dog as well.
That's a good one. Did you have one?
Yeah, I do. Actually, it wasn't a full toy. It was the leg of a Power Ranger. And let me explain, because I knew I was never going to be able to get a Power Ranger doll. I remember the Power Ranger dolls were like this big.
Yeah.
And one day I was walking home from school and I saw the black Power Ranger's leg on the ground. And I played with this leg as if though I had the full doll. I mean, it went everywhere with me. It was my backpack, my cubby, and I would just like play with this leg. I was really debating whether or not I was ever going to share this story during this. And you know, something about you says, share
I'm glad we could.
that you
Yeah, we'd help you out.
grew up in a situation where you could only get the leg of a Power Ranger, but it was like my favorite thing.
Ninja Turtles was huge when I was a kid, and I know this sounds crazy, but I had a crush on Raphael.
Valid.
Which is insane, because he was a mutant turtle.
How did you tell the difference between them?
Their attitudes, first and foremost. He was like the broody kind of like, he was
like the
very,
artsy.
I liked he was problematic. And it actually informed all of my dating choice, like later on in life. I always went with the jerk. Why? Because of Raphael.
Because of Raphael.
Yes, it messed me up, you guys. Did I go for Leonardo? No. Should I have gone for Donatello? 100%.
Yeah. But
Michelangelo, not as much. He was
ultimately, who did you marry?
I married Michelangelo.
There
we go.
Yes, yeah. She worked it. It all worked out in the end.
It worked in the end.
Yeah. There was not the big from the 70s were the big 12-inch G.I. Joe characters with the kung fu grip.
Oh yeah.
But there were smaller tiny action figures from the TV show. I was absolutely obsessed. There was a United States Marine sergeant, and that was my favorite one. He had like this cool sergeant hat and the big what they call the globe and anchor tattoo. It's the United States Marine tattoo on his chest, and he was super cool. He was my favorite G.I. Joe character. And then there were two twins. They were also G.I. Joe characters. They were evil. They worked for Cobra Command.
Why are twins evil?
I don't know, and they always make them evil. The only
That's
good twins were the Wonder Twins. The Wonder Twins from the Justice League cartoons when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
But there were the twins, and their names were Tomax, and then if you flip it, it was Zaymot. And I just thought that was cool. And they were like the evil twins.
I love this because you remember it.
I remember it, yeah.
And they used an
things.
X, which was that.
An X was very, very impressive.
I appreciate you having my back, no matter what.
We're seeing the origin of these characters that we've known for so long. Is there a character that you've played in your careers that you would love to go back and see the origin story of?
Oh.
I thought you were going to say, is there a character you want to go back and
redo?
Completely.
Rewrite it, the whole thing.
I'm like, wow.
What was I thinking? When I did the Ghostbusters, I played the secretary, and I just loved that character. He was not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he was incredibly curious and inquisitive, and looked at the world from a very different angle to.
And what happened where that was the job that he secured? Like, what happened?
I don't even know if he knew he was in a job interview. He was just kind of looking for a place to stay, and then offered free rent as well. I'd love to see where that guy came from.
Craigslist. He came from Craigslist.
Craigslist, yeah.
I would like to look up the origin of Fastest. Like, you know, like I really was like, I'd like to see, you know, all the different eras of his life, you know, this eternal character. He'd been through everything. I'd like to see all the different parts of his life and like what happened. That would be cool.
I would love to see that. Manifesting.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Chris has the power. If he wanted it to happen, it can happen.
Are you gonna make a call?
You know what I
Shoot a
mean?
text.
Someone put that in?
You're just,
Dear Mr. Feige.
dear Kevin Feige.
In the movie The Predator,
Oh yeah.
they describe our backstory a little bit, just like in a couple of lines. But Thomas Jane and I played these two guys who met in like a military court. And I would love to have seen the origin of how, it's kind of a neat story of how they came together. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, is I'd go, oh, their names were Baxley and Coyle. These two guys, they were like partners. And this, I would have loved to have seen a movie about how they came together. Yeah, that's the comes to my mind.
I probably would have gone further back in the Black Widow story.
Absolutely.
And seen like some, like I would have loved to have seen the Hawkeye, Black Widow, like some of that stuff.
Yeah, because we did see a little bit, but
yeah, she talked. Well, you see more like early parts of her life.
Not like origin. Yeah.
But that would
have been good.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I'm actually working on some nicknames. The one I'm floating right now is Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
I love that your character gets called the yellow annoying one. I felt that deep in my bones. Really
yellow
related
annoying
to that.
one, yeah.
Do you have any nicknames that have just stuck that you just can't get rid of?
People call me Keegs.
It's a pretty good one.
The funny thing is, you just said that stuck. I had a nickname that, thank God, did not stick. When I was a kid, somebody, I can't remember who it was, Kegel. Kegel.
Oh.
And then someone called me Kegel the Beagle. And I'm like, we gotta nix
this
that.
is getting
We gotta
too-
step
Yeah.
that. Yeah, now we're, I don't know, yeah.
Switch schools.
No, that's
Switch schools, yes.
It didn't happen.
That is Kegel. That's not good.
Yeah,
no, and
Kegel.
later on you were like,
I'm like, no, that's gotta stop.
Yeah.
What are your nicknames? Do you have any?
Just
Your brothers have to call you something.
yeah, none that I could,
Got it?
Right.
the
Good.
family-friendly
Got it.
TV show.
Got it.
I could
Clearly.
say. Yeah, they're usually layered in abuse from my brothers, if you
Very sibling style. Yeah.
It's to build resilience.
Yes.
There's a purpose behind it. I'm toughening you up for the world.
I love that you can find a way to make their abuse sound absolutely.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
Heard. Understood.
If we survive this, I'm gonna kill you! I accept those terms.
I'm always intrigued to know like how you get into character for a voiceover role because you're in that booth alone. You're not on set. There's no costume. So how did you kind of prepare for this?
We have Josh Cooley with us, who's our director, who's really helpful. He's an amazing writer, he's an amazing storyteller, and he's so descriptive because sometimes we're not really looking at, like in the early stages, you're not looking at any animation, you're sort of looking at like some drawings and like some renderings of stuff, and so you really need some, we have the script obviously, but he's so helpful in just describing like what he envisions and what he's working on, even if he doesn't have it like right in front of him. And so that to me was like he was like my lifeline. Cause
It's the same thing for me. Yeah, that's literally how I would have answered the question, because you don't have the ability to have the other person to react off of. Sometimes we all had to shoot all over the world.
he stays with you in the room.
He stays with you.
Yeah.
He sits as far as you are for me, so that you get that human energy.
Yeah.
I mean, with Chris, it was really a priority for Josh. Josh would just get on a plane and fly to Australia and fly to Chris's house, and they would do the setup there. I think that's right. And then they would, so that he could be in the room and really
He just
be
wanted
your
to
partner.
be with Chris Hemsworth in person.
Yeah, he's so valid for that. I would also do that.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I just need to see him. I need to see if
to
he's
sit
real.
here
Just wanna
and
go to his
behold
house.
him. Yes.
The preparation became about kind of, I think we've discussed it, but grounding the characters and making it relatable for us, and putting ourselves in this situation of when we were, young individuals trying to find our way in the world.
Just
and
hard-headed.
do we believe in these rules or those rules? Are we going to conform and follow this and follow that, or do we have something to say? And so it was, it's about making it personal.
Yeah, it felt like a very much coming of age story that we hadn't
Definitely.
seen from the Transformers. Like, there's so many different elements that we haven't seen about them. Like, them when they were younger, them on their home planet, them not being able to transform, them having jobs, them laughing. And so, for me, I just wanted to draw from myself at that age. I guess that Optimus and Megatron at this point where we meet them was like 20, 21.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, what were the things I was doing? So, and Megatron is doing all the opposite of me at 20 and 21.
Yeah.
Like, he was very much like, stay by the rules, secure this job, I was not that person. But I just tried to pour into him what I thought that a younger me would be like. And since people had never heard or seen them at these times in their lives, it gave us so much
was sort
space.
of free rein to-
to figure out who they were,
And the cast is so epic. You've all worked on so many amazing projects. If you could go into a cinematic world that one of your co-stars has been in, what would you love to go into for the day?
The Matrix, Lawrence Fishburne.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You know what? I probably want to go into I mean, I'll go to Asgard. Why not? I've never been.
Yeah,
that seems really.
I'll show you around.
That seems really.
I know a
dope.
guy.
You know a guy?
Yeah.
Is the rent good in Asgard? It seems like it's very expensive to live there.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Look, that's Starscream, and you're Shockwave and Soundwave.
Enough.
Gosh, raise your hand if Wave is in your name. There's a lot of Wave.